Wolf here for Barefoot Bushcraft, and today we're going to talk about a really unique phenomenon called the Rule of Three and how it applies to outdoor education, to bushcraft, and to survival. Three comes up a lot, and it starts with the self. So I'm going to leave some space here to put some information. So when it comes to personal survival, we've got the Rule of Three. So 3 minutes without air. When that happens, you're basically you could potentially get some brain damage. All right, 3 hours without shelter. So right now it's about minus 20 degrees Celsius. If I was racing around out here with no clothes on at all, I will probably freeze to death. Conversely, if I was out in the desert and I was running around again with nothing on in the desert, 3 hours before I'm gonna cook, and I'll basically be a beautifully well-cooked piece of meat for the wildlife. And with water, right? Water and hydration is a big thing in the wilderness. You've got 3 days without water, and then you will dehydrate. So basically in those old movies where they wall someone up in the castle or something like that, and they're like, oh, this is your punishment and you're going to die here. They do die there, but it doesn't take 5 years. It takes 3 days with no water before they basically dehydrate to death. And it's a very painful death, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, that's something for that. So, and of course, the longest time is food. With the average person can survive about 3 weeks with no food. Now, I'm a fat guy, not gonna lie. I get all the comments all the time, just constantly reminding me of how overweight that I am. I'm aware of this, and I will probably last a little longer than you without food. So there's sort of the personal aspect of 3. Another aspect of survival, of course, is fire. And there's something called the fire triangle. And I will put that up right there. So your fire triangle, it requires air, right? A lot of people say it's oxygen, but in Earth's atmosphere, where I'm filming this, obviously, we have 75% nitrogen and a lot less of oxygen. So fire needs air more than oxygen. It burns great on a pure oxygen environment. Fire needs food. It needs something to eat or burn, right? And fire needs heat or warmth in order to perpetuate. There's a bunch of videos on demonstrating the cold and how heat is important, but there's your fire triangle. So now we will move on to clothing layers, right? Again, starting with the self. So your clothing layers. So you're going to have your base layer or your underneath layer, right? Possibly underwear as well, right? So you're going to have that layer. Then you're going to have your street clothes layer, right? So you're going to have your either a wool shirt or a t-shirt or a long sleeve shirt or something, depending on the weather conditions. And then you're going to have your outer layer. Each one of those has individual functions. So your inner layer is designed to keep the heat in and transfer moisture out. So it's going to transfer moisture from your body while you're working and doing stuff and transfer it into that mid layer. Then your outer layer, right? Your outer layer is going to keep the outside world from getting in. So both have to work together. So you've got your inner layer pushing moisture and stuff out, and then you have your outer layer keeping the stuff out. So they all work together if they're properly. But again, that's for another video. If you're interested in this, you can pick through our videos, and somewhere there's more information. So there's your base layer. So we've covered, your basic survival. We've covered fire, and we have 3 in fire, and then we have clothing layers. You have 3 in clothing layers, and it goes on and on and on. If it was a bright sunny day, I need a minimum of a 3-inch brim hat. So that's, like the standard boonie hat that you see in most of our videos, right? 3 inches is enough to keep the sunlight from hitting your face and burning your back and burning your neck and burning your face. So this is the number 3 there, right? When it comes to carrying survival tools, you're going to carry 3-edged tools. So you were going to carry a fixed blade knife. You were going to carry a folding blade knife. You were going to carry a multi-tool. There's 3. How weird is that? So let's say you're like, oh, the stupid folding blades, no problem. Replace that with axe. So now you have fixed blade, axe, multi-tool. If you lose or you break one somehow, you've got 3. You've got backups. Now we're going to go back a little bit to fire. Fire starting equipment, again, part of the survival. You have matches, lighter, and ferro rod. right? Now you can switch these up. It doesn't have to be these, right? I'm not saying I'm a great bushcraft guru and it needs to be these, but your multitude of 3 on everything you do. So if you can remember the number 3, it greatly increases your chances of making it through a difficult and challenging situation in the woods. Or it takes your abilities and makes them greater. So I'm not going to deliberately put myself in an aircraft down situation or deliberately come out to a beautiful wilderness environment like this and put myself in a survival situation. That's the plan. The idea is the prep work. So if I have those 3 tools, my knife, my multi-tool, my folding tool, I'm going to fare that much better. My life is going to be that much more convenient. Again, if I have 2 pairs of socks on, I'm going to prevent blisters, and I'm going to keep the weather out when it's very, very cold. So it's really fascinating how the rule of 3 plays out, and you'll see that in a lot of different areas. Again, going back to fire starting, which is potentially one of the most important, one of the most important parts of survival, you can have 3 methods of tinder, right? So you're going to have the cotton ball. You're going to have something like small sticks or shavings, and then you're going to have little, small, slightly bigger sticks. So again, your multiple stages. So if you pick through our videos, you may find another video about fire starting where you have like shavings, cotton ball, and pine sap or something like that. Again, that combination of 3. For starting materials or tinder bundles, again, you're going to use 3. You're going to use dry grasses. You're going to use leaves, right, and small sticks. So that number 3 crops up in all sorts of different areas. It gets a lot deeper than that, but I just want to make a very simple video to remember, if you think 3, you are probably going to find the answers. Now, you need to understand how stress works, right? Stress makes us stupid. We stop thinking under stressful situations. So if we're in a badly stressful situation and you can remember the number 3, which is pretty easy, lots of studies have shown human can remember 3 objects more than 4. Even though it's only 1 more, 3 objects is easier to remember than 4. So if you can always remember that 3, right? You can try to put it together, and it's going to help you significantly in all of your outdoor studies and all of your outdoor stuff, right? So even backpacks, modern day backpacks, have 3 straps on them, right? They've got the 2 straps here, and they've got the cummerbund usually on the waist, right? And that has to do with weight distribution and all that good stuff. So anyways, I hope this video has been informative. I'm always interested in hearing some of your feedback on this. So I will, of course, put all our great website information and stuff like that right there. So as usual, you can message us on the Facebook. You can watch us on the Instagram. And as always, you can hit us up on our website at barefootbushcraft.com. So I want to thank you so much for all of your support. I want to thank the community for coming out to our facility. And thank you, the viewers, and all the commenters, good, bad, and indifferent. I'm really grateful for all of that. And I want to thank you so much. I'm Wolf for Barefoot Bushcraft. Please remember the rule of 3, and please consider subscribing.